following is a UTV-44 sports production. Friday Night Rivals. The UTV-44 High School Football Game of the Week.
Spanish Fort Toros may have had their 31-game winning streak snapped earlier this season, but they've still never lost at home in the playoffs. A perfect 12-0, and they'll look to continue that streak tonight as they play host to the Benjamin Russell Wildcats, making a long road trip down here after their win last week in overtime against Stanhope Elmore to take on the Toros. Good evening. I'm Jim Cox. My partners Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett as we're up here on the hill. And Dan, we look at the matchup here tonight. Obviously, everybody's a good team that's in round two, but you know, for these Spanish Fort Toros, it's still just same old, same old.
Yeah, you know, that was a disappointing loss they had, and certainly the loss of Tyler Johnston at quarterback, but they still have got a really good team and just a culture that understands how to win football games. They expect to keep it going. They're 2 straight 5A championships. They're now in the new 6A, and they're expected to go a long way in the playoffs again, if not win it.
They'll be tested by another stellar quarterback they're going to see tonight from Benjamin Russell.
This kid's gotten a lot better as the season's gone along. Tyree Gray, young guy, but quick feet. He's throwing it better as the season's gone along. This team's a little bit thin. You're also going to see him play some safety, too. But the fact is, one of the best athletes on the field, and he's going to have a very good night for Benjamin Russell to get some points on the board. It won't be easy.
Quarterback play seems to become more and more important each week in the playoffs. Vic Lockett, and same thing for the Spanish Fort Toros here tonight.
Yeah, you're exactly right. As closer you get to those rings, you know it's going to be up to the quarterback to protect the football and play good, sound football. Javon Brown, you know, he's coming in for Tyler Johnston. Done a good job so far steadying the ship. Guy that doesn't seem to get rattled under pressure. They like to get him outside of the pocket a little bit for the passing. And if it's not there, he's real careful with the football. He'll rely back on his feet and just run the football. So look for him to be a factor in the game and make certain that he does have to have control of this ball game. Otherwise, the mistake comes out, they could be in trouble.
Both teams just one loss on the season. Benjamin Russell, they came down here a couple of years ago and had their season ended in a quarterfinal loss here to the Spanish Fort Toros. Kickoff comes up next. It's Spanish Fort playing host to Benjamin Russell. The Wildcats making the trip down here to the hill. Well, we've had the fireworks, so we know we're close to kickoff here at Spanish Fort. And let's go down to the sideline here and welcome in our fourth member of our crew, Ashley Pope.
In Alabama, we're used to the sun and the rain, not so much this freezing 20-degree temperature. So tonight, we're going to see both offense and defense in gloves like these to control the football better. You're also going to see them stretching more. They've got to be conditioned throughout this whole game tonight. I'm
just guessing the wide receivers' gloves, they'll have gloves on. They may not exactly be like those, though.
Yeah, I think that the ones that
they'll be as fashionable with
I mean, Ashley got hers at the mall, so I don't...
So the Toros will kick off here to Stanhope Elmore. And we'll open up round 2 of the playoffs. I'm sorry, to Benjamin Russell. Stanhope Elmore took this Benjamin Russell team to overtime last week. Benjamin Russell was trailing 21-7 in the third quarter.
A tough loss for, you know, we're talking about what a great win for Benjamin Russell. How about Stanhope Elmore with a tough loss to end your year like that?
Yeah, and Benjamin Russell had defeated him handily early in the season, and then the rematch. So Matthew Quinn on to kick. Rodney Carroll back deep, and this is a high, short kick to the near side and a fair catch called for by Cy Stowe's, the starting wide receiver. And at the 32-yard line, we will see the Benjamin Russell offense come out. Danny Horn, what a coaching legend this guy is. 6th year at Benjamin Russell. You see his record there, but 6 state championships when he was at Clay County. Went to Clay County High School, went there and coached for 20 years. Set a record, won 55 straight games. That's the longest ever in Alabama high school football. And a great guy. Dan and I had a chance to catch up with him again before the game tonight down on the field.
Talked to one of his comrades in the past, Phil Lazenby, who spoke so highly of him.
Tyrick Norris in the backfield. Chase Burton back there as well. And they'll pitch it off to Norris. And we will see, we're going to see the spread tonight. We're going to see the veer tonight. We're going to see the power. We're going to see the power game. Yeah, we're going to see everything. Starting lineup: Parker, Coggin, Ward, Wheeler, and Bland up front for Benjamin Russell. Quinn Johnson. They also just got Marquise Odom back as a wide receiver. We'll see him come in. Lloyd Gray that Dan talked about. Burton, Norris, and Stows at wide receiver. Pick up a 5 to open things up. Gray pitches it back. Ball is on the ground, recovered by the Toros. Thomas Johnston able to pick it up at the 31-yard line.
Everybody knows about him, and these college recruiters know about him as well. Already got a scholarship offer to Clemson. Already making an impact in this football game.
I mean, look at that. It's his penetration that throws that whole play out of whack, just ruins the angle for the pitch, and he ends up with the ball.
Double duty there.
Yeah, man.
They were trying to pitch it to Burton, but what a play by Tyler Johnston. We talked about it earlier, Dan, saying that this defense gets overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, not by coaches that play against them.
Yep. So Javon Brown.
It's Freeman.
There, Coach Mark Freeman, what a job here. 48-6 since coming to Spanish Fort. They won the region this year, 10-1. Pitch it off. Brown going to keep it, big hole on the left side, and he cuts it back at the 20, still on his feet all the way down to the 13-yard line. Now the ball came loose at the end of that play. And the officials, they have not made a signal yet.
Yeah, he got a little high on him in his shoulders, and I don't know if he got it knocked out when he hit the ground, but
yeah.
He was trying to gain back control of it.
Yeah, Jerry Tuck is saying that he stripped that out on the way down. Watch here.
Yep,
it's moving.
Out. It's out. It was out before he was down.
Well, we talked about it at the top of the telecast.
We
it's
saw
going to be about ball control and not making mistakes by these quarterbacks. And both of them, we could say right now, have made a mistake. Let's see if the Toros are going to pay for theirs.
Quinn Johnson, if he gets it, it'll be his second fumble recovery of the season. He's one of those players that goes both ways for this Benjamin Russell team.
Here's the strip right there. He's not down yet.
There that ball's out.
Yeah,
that's a fumble.
Now, they don't have this, of course, and they're not hearing what we say, but they are trying to get their story straight. Did anybody see that ball come out early? And if you did, speak now or
forever hold your peace.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see a beanbag come out.
I did not either. And just credit the Zebras right now trying to get it correct, knowing this could be a big call one way or the other.
Yeah, huge call.
Even though it's early in the ball game.
Benjamin Russell has forced 27 turnovers coming into tonight's game. 20 interceptions and 7 fumbles, and they are hoping that number grows to 28.
All right, they got to come up with something now.
They've yet to make a signal, but now they're going to come over and talk to Mark Freeman. It looks like, judging from their reaction, the ball is going to go to Benjamin Russell.
Yeah,
from the players' reaction for sure.
I mean, it's the right call. So,
yeah, he's having a long sidebar there with the coach, which I've never seen, but
I never saw the signal.
Yeah, no, I have not either.
They've still yet to make a and you wonder when you get together, now they just finally do make the official signal. So back-to-back turnovers. 2 turnovers in the first 3 plays from scrimmage.
Give them credit, they got it right. And it was not an obvious fumble either. That was really a bang-bang play.
Here comes the Benjamin Russell offense again. Now Gray pitches it back to Chase Burton. And Burton gets up to the 15-yard line. And here's that Spanish Fort defense. Keon White, Stockton, and Cole up front. Johnston, great sophomore linebacker. J.D. Campbell, Threet, and D. Thomas. And the secondary, these guys will get after the football. Baker, Goodwin, along with Mitchell and John Holcomb. Back there for the Toros. Sean DeFore, defensive coordinator, again, just 9.9 points a game.
We probably don't talk about Cole as much as we should, but his play speaks for him.
Misdirection out of the backfield and up ahead to about the 19-yard line, and 3rd down coming up here, as that was Tyrick Norris with his 2nd carry here tonight.
Now, these are the plays I'm used to facing right here.
Yeah.
It's been some years since I've even seen a team line up in the wishbone.
Yeah.
Here's Maurice Cole. Good look at him.
Got to make our friend Coach Hardy feel real good. I mean, he could call these things right now from up here.
3rd and 4. They've only completed 53 passes all season, and they stay with it. And Norris with nowhere to go up to about the 22-yard line, and it's going to bring up 4th down, so the Toros defense will at least have a chance to flip and have good field position here.
That is very close to the best, obviously, by Benjamin Russell.
Yeah. Repeat that stat again, Jim. 53 passes all
completed. Yeah.
Completed. Wow. Now, this may be a night I would be in favor of a 0 coverage.
I mean, that's less than 5 a game.
Sure.
Also, if you do the average all year.
I mean, if you got a real speedster, I just put him back there single safety, and I have all the other 10 right there in the box.
Play clock at 5. They're going to have to hurry here. Cole Grogan on the punt. They get it off, and the Toros with the return on. High kick, Ladero Petway will call for a fair catch at the 45, and then he's hit.
Wow.
And boy, Mark Freeman.
Yeah, there's contact there.
Yeah,
obvious.
Clearly a fair catch.
So, did he not blow the whistle?
Don't know how you didn't see that.
I want to thank our friends at the Baldwin and Mobile County Sheriff's Department and the Drug Education Council who have teamed up to remind you all season long that Spice Kills. Go to spicekills.com to learn the facts. We thank them for being a part of our coverage all throughout the year here on UTV 44 as the Toros get it back. Brown rolls out to the right side. Another hole as he tries to get to the edge. And he'll get shoved out of bounds. Picking up a couple of there.
Yeah, Brown is really confident about running the football, as you see right there.
Here's the starters for Spanish Fort. Johnson, Betts, Howard, Brentzel. Brentzel almost had a touchdown on a tip pass last week. Harrison DeLong, Rella, Cotton, Petway, and Marion, the receivers. Shable in the backfield along with Javon Brown. And they'll give it off to Shable on the right side. He lowers the shoulder, and Shable down to the 39-yard line on a 1st down for the Toros.
That's what Shable does. Finds a little crease and lowers the shoulder, gains leverage, and makes you pay.
Yep,
Here's the defense from Benjamin Russell. They give up 12.9 points a game. Edwards on the outside, their leading tackler with 13 tackles for loss and 8 sacks. Robinson in middle, 25 tackles for loss this year. Lowry on the edge, Tuck and the Sturdivant twins at linebacker. Carroll in the backfield, and along with Norris, one of those players that goes both ways. And as Dan said, we'll even see Tyree Gray, the starting quarterback, come over and play some safety for this team. And Shable, good look there, dropping the shoulder on Jacob Rogers, the junior free safety. 2nd and 8.
That's kind of hit makes you wonder if the band's got any openings. I'll tell you why.
Javon Brown looking to pass now. He'll pull it down. Tries to split a seam and gets to the 30-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd and short for the Toros.
Yeah, it looks like it's a pass-run option, but his receivers were really just downfield blocking, so maybe it was just deception by Javon Brown there. Because most of his passes do come with him getting outside of the pocket on the edge and the perimeter of the defense and making a play with the football if he's going to pass it.
Gets the play from Coach Freeman. Shable in behind him, and now they'll move him out and empty the backfield and go 5 wide receivers. Shable comes in motion. They fake it to him, and right up the middle goes Javon Brown. He's inside the 20, inside the 10, now at the 5, and he'll be forced out at the 3.
Guy's got some quicks, Vic.
He does. They're giving him plenty of work here often and early with his feet. He just guts up the middle here and then just goes on the outside. I think he's been running it so much, he's just a little bit out of gas right there and just said, hey, I'll just go out and play the next down.
Kind of what I'm expecting to see some from Gray before the evening's out, the quarterback for Benjamin Russell.
28-yard pickup. Put him out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Shable stood up there, and he'll be driven back. Scott Sturdivant, one of the twins that play linebacker on inside. His brother Sam there as well.
You're seeing some gaping holes in this defense here already early, which is shocking since they practice against a power offensive team. You would think they would be tougher against the run.
They've had 4 or 5 season-ending injuries on this team this year.
Lost 2 linebackers to injury.
Yep.
2nd and goal for the Toros. Brown on the keeper, goes up the middle, drives ahead, and he's in for the Toro touchdown.
That brings the crowd to their feet.
Keeper all the way there for Javon Brown.
Yes, he uses his feet to get into the end zone to get him up early in this football game. Nothing fancy about it, just, hey, quarterback lead, go right through the center there and take off the block, cut off the block of the fullback.
Matthew Quinn, the 8th grade kicker, on here for the PAT. Oh, the botched snap, it's loose. And the Toros have a miscue on special teams that you rarely see. And so it's 6-0, and we have seen extra points play big parts of playoff games here. Toros on top, 6-0. It's round 2 of the playoffs here on UTV 44. Spanish Fort after the missed point after, but they have the lead. And that drive, Vic Blanca, just looked like so many touchdown drives we've seen from Spanish Fort this year.
You know, and here's what they do. If they get up on you, and they don't take their foot off the accelerator until about 3rd quarter, and you're going home with a loss. So we have seen them play this type of game, and this is where they like to play, and they're comfortable playing in front. Yes, everyone is, though.
Yeah, but I do remember 2 years ago, this team played them very tough.
High kick to the near side, and again, Stows calls for the fair catch at the 37. So you can see early on they respect the return game of Benjamin Russell.
Don't want to give them anything easy. They say, we'd rather you try to prove it from the line of scrimmage than get a big return.
8 plays, 55 yards, just under 2.5 minutes. Javon Brown with a touchdown there. And again, Spanish Fort fumbled on their first play, but it was one of those, looked like they were going to be moving in for a score there. So
Javon doing most of the yardage on that whole drive as well.
Now we'll see a shotgun for the first time tonight.
Truly multiple offense. Now this is multiple.
Yes.
Gray with Chase Burton with him. Play clock down to 2. They get it off. Burton on the left side. Gets maybe out to the 41-yard line.
Burton had some big plays last week in the win, the coming from behind win over Stanhope Elmore.
I mean, how about this? Coming into tonight's game, he carried it 195 times.
Wow.
Wow. That's a lot for 905 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Okay, they changed the formation drastically, but still continue to do the same thing. Run the football.
On the keeper now. He gets the edge. Oh, he lost his footing. He had a big hole there and just went to cut it outside the 45 and came out from underneath him. Hey, don't forget, as you've been doing all season long, you can follow us on Facebook. Brought to you by our friends at Budget Breaks. Just search UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week, and you can get all the inside information about our broadcast each and every week here on UTV 44. Make it 3rd and less than a yard. Burton on the far side, and he's got the first down to midfield.
Good blocking on the edge, Vic.
Yeah, they got a lot of different plays out of these single formations here. This drive, they're just elected to go with the spread offense, but they're still just handing the football, sort of playing on that 6 and 7 gap out there on the edges.
Burton a little shaken up. They can't afford that.
First and 10. Given back to the line of scrimmage, and nothing more there as J.D. Campbell comes in to get the stop for the Toros.
Say this much about Benjamin Russell up on the other side of Lake Martin. It's not the quickest way, quickest route getting here.
There's not a big bridge over Lake Martin.
No, unfortunately not. But look at the crowd here that they bring.
Yeah, but Jim, you'd love to take your boat up there and get it wet, wouldn't you?
It'd be some fun fishing up there.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. Big hit from Maurice Cole. But the ball is kept by Gray on the far side, and Gray all the way inside the 20-10. Touchdown, Benjamin Russell.
Wow, what a great fake it was, too.
50 yards. for Tyree Gray. Wow, did he sell it?
Yeah, once Maurice Cole comes in right there on the edge, someone else has got to fill in for him. Thomas Johnston tried to do it, but wasn't able to make the tackle, and he just gets the edge and keeps on scampering down there.
How about the speed of Gray? We talked about that. This kid is a running fool, man, and he really showed you right there, outrunning the entire Spanish Fort defense. You don't see that very often.
9th rushing touchdown on the year, and now Cole Grogan on to try and put Benjamin Russell on top. Left-footed kicker. And the Wildcats answer back with a big play.
And they lead.
They do have the lead by 1 thanks to that young man, Tyree Gray, with a 50-yard run. And the Wildcats lead the Toros 7-6 here in the first. Junior quarterback with a big run there. And goes 50 yards for the score.
That's when college scouts show up. When you make a run like that against Spanish Fort, and they just see this out-and-out speed. He's a safety on defense. We'll see him on that side of the ball some. You can't teach speed, Vic.
Nope. You're either born with it or without it. I was born without it.
You played at Alabama, Vic. It's not like you moved like a refrigerator.
I get to that quick, though. Get to the refrigerator really fast. I run a 4-0 to that.
Grogan on to kick again. This one high. And Harrison hands it off. Ladero Petway. Petway to the 25-yard line. And we'll see the Toros come back on offensively here. And they had 2 drives. They turned it over the first time and then went down for the touchdown. And the second 5 plays, 62 yards, 4.5 minutes. So we're just halfway through the opening quarter here, round 2 of the playoffs. If you're watching this again on Saturday night, because let's be honest, there's no other college games on a Saturday night. It's tape delay. We have to be tape delayed in the playoffs by state sanctions, and so we'd love to be live, but again, it's not our. We don't get to make the call on that. So
we say state sanctions. We're not talking about Governor Bentley either, or the House of Representatives. It just happens to be the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and so it is.
Yeah, we'd love to do them live. We love, and there's a lot of talk about. We always get asked why we're not on live, and it's
we don't have the answer.
That's right. Brown looks over. 2nd and 6 with Cam Harrison. Harrison had 90 yards last week in the win over Northridge. And he'll take it up the middle again, and Harrison all the way out near midfield, and a first down for the Toros, and a flag will be added on to the end of the play for a horse collar.
Yeah, but you could look at the alignment as you saw the end zone shot there. You knew something was coming here in the middle because they had some big splits between that guard and tackle. So by alignment, they should have known that one was heading right for him, right up the gut like he did it.
I call him Shable light. Cam Harrison, he's probably 25 pounds.
Against the defense, that's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Officially, he's 30 pounds lighter than Shable.
Yep.
He's compact.
And a third less calories.
Certainly.
So,
but he runs great.
Moves it all the way to the 38-yard line after the 15-yard, the 10-yard penalty. And Harrison up to the 35.
Good balance and good drive. Gets what he can.
Yeah, and he's not going down with a single tackler on him. He's going to make 2 or 3 of them grab him before he goes down.
Look at the Toros schedule. There it is, the October 17th game. We did it right here on UTV 44. That snapped the 31-game winning streak. And then the Toros bounce back with wins, and including that big, as Ladero Petway gets his first carry of the night, that big overtime win we did at Blunt, which was really a great game. And then they lost the following week here on UTV 44 to Daphne, and then won in round 1 of the playoffs to Northridge. They still were the region champions. They went 7-1 in the region. Ended the year ranked number 4 in the state in the final polls. And they are the 2-time 5A state champions.
Yeah, the polls don't mean a single thing right now.
Yep. Brown on 3rd and 2. Javon Brown on the left side. He'll have the first down. Oh, it's got to be a face mask there. And here comes the flag. Yep. That was Quinn Johnson who stripped the football out on that first drive. Was trying to get in there and then got up in the face of Javon Brown.
Yeah, it didn't look like he pulled on it, but he just went to the quarterback's face with his hands for whatever reason. Oh, he stuck his hand
inside.
Yeah, under the face mask there.
A little face wash, as we used to call that in hockey. Just a little face wash.
Can't feel good.
Yeah, we play those games at the municipal park all the time. Hockey.
Hockey? Yes.
Personal foul, face mask against the defense. That's a half the distance penalty. First down.
He bypassed the face mask.
He never touched the face mask.
He went right for the bridge of the nose. Not only, that should be 30.
Well, half the distance.
Yeah, that's right.
Close to it.
Put it at the 13-yard line. And Harrison will stay in. 3 receivers stacked up here to the bottom of the screen. Now Marion moves over to the edge of the line. Harrison inside the 10.
Benjamin Russell having all kinds of problems trying to slow down the Spanish Fort offense so far. The only time Spanish Fort, the other possession that did not result into a great drive, and this one looks like it may end up being a touchdown, was a fumble right here.
Which looked like they were going to score.
Exactly.
On that drive.
So they haven't really stopped them yet.
Play clock at 10 and
timeout Spanish Fort.
Get a TO here with minute 29 to go to give us a chance to tell you about what else is going on here tonight. A good one down in Baldwin County, Foley and Fairhope. And the winner of that game will play the winner of Central Phoenix City and Prattville. Hoover and Tuscaloosa County playing tonight, and Oak Mountain and Gadsden. We'll come back to that. Benjamin Russell and Spanish Fort, our game here on UTV 44. McAdory and Oxford. Saraland and Opelika. How about that matchup tonight? Ooh, a lot of folks liking whoever comes out of that game to be one of the favorites the rest of the way here. 5A, you've got BC. Who would have thought the only Mobile County public school team left after week 1 in the playoffs would be BC Rain?
There's your talking point right there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They got St. Paul's in that group too.
Right. Well, that's
really about them.
I was just saying for the public schools, Vic.
Yeah.
St. Paul's, of course, #1 team in 5A. UMS playing Dadeville tonight. Strawn and West Blockton, Clark County and Leeds, and W.S. Neal and Munford rounding out our 4A action tonight. And after the timeout, we'll see Ladero Petway. Usually the wide receiver lineup behind, and they'll pitch it quickly off to him, and Petway quickly cuts back inside the 5, down to about the 3. And 3rd and goal coming up.
Yeah, that quick pitch, they turned it inside really quick. And he tried to just find his way back against the grain, but they were there to rebuff him.
3rd and goal for the Toros. As we said at the top of the broadcast, they've never lost here at home in the playoffs. 12-0. Look at a measurement, see how close they were. So it was not a 3rd and goal. They actually can get a first down here without the touchdown, and they are just inches short.
Just about that much.
There's Mark Freeman. Mark is always in good spirits before the game with a little chat down in the field, Dan Brennan.
He seemed to be, yeah. Got kicked into a sprint, come out there and say hello to us.
Still got good quicks, doesn't he?
Oh, sure he does.
Covers a lot of ground with those long strides.
You know, it's amazing, his story and what he's done as a coach when you consider how late, relatively speaking, he got into the head coaching business.
3rd and inches. Brown gives it off to Harrison. He'll have The first down, it would appear.
Yeah, Brown was immediately just looking over to the sideline for the next play.
Now it'll be first and goal.
What if Shable's hurt? Seen a lot of Harrison.
First and goal. Toros trying to get the lead back here after the missed PAT. Brown decides to keep it himself, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield. Good job by Sam Sturdivant.
Yeah, I thought he had the pitch, man, for an easy touchdown, but he elected to keep it himself there and cut up inside, and the Benjamin Russell defense was there waiting for him.
Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of green up there. Sturdivant doing a good job. How often do you see twins starting in high school football linebackers?
I think that's a great story. I mean, you cut it up the middle, there's a chance that Sturdivant's going to bring you down.
Shable back in there now, and he'll lead the block for Brown. And Brown, boy, looked like he was going in and got stood up at the goal line.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. He never got his shoulder square to go up the field and dip into the end zone.
It seemed like he had a gap he could have
taken advantage of.
Yeah, but he never does. He follows Shable to this point.
Yeah. He's just out of whack right there, and the defender's got leverage on him.
Also, the defender did a great job of fighting off a block.
Yeah, Rodney Carroll came up and made the stick there, and
good
so
for him.
Third and goal. I think Brown thought he was going to be able to get in, and all of a sudden there's the defender. So third and goal coming up to start the second. It's round 2 of the playoffs here on UTV 44. Part of the Benjamin Russell contingency Dan was talking about made their way down here. Had some great history up there as well. Got a lot of coaching connections down to this area as well. Coaches who have been up there before and now back down here.
Yeah, well, the director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Steve Savarese, of course, had such great success at Daphne and McGill. Benjamin Russell, head coach. We just talked to our friend from
Coach Phil Lazenby.
Lazenby from Bayside Academy.
Boy, how well did we get to know him when he was the coordinator and offensive line coach over at UMS Wright. We had some fun Phil Lazenby stories.
He always told me he got to know me too good. And he really wished he could wash it away.
That could be dangerous, I can imagine. You don't want to see how the sausage made.
He's a good guy, though.
Yep.
But I got you,
I'm talking about you.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, come on. Danny Boy's a good boy. Everybody loves Danny Boy.
Yeah.
Shable in behind. He'll take the give on the left side, and he gets in for the touchdown.
Well, this team will fight you, though.
They will. Boy, they had to earn. They had to earn it there. And let's see. It looked like the Toros were thinking about going for 2, and I think they're going to chase the point.
How about that?
Early on. Let's watch Shable here.
Yeah, nothing easy right there. He had to drive his legs to get across that end zone because the defender met him in the backfield. Could have made the play for a loss. Did not.
That was Tay Robinson who came in and made the hit. We talked about him, 10 sacks, 25 tackles for loss. They'd love to move him to the end because he'd really be dangerous there, but he just does such a great job in the middle. And with some injuries they've had, no choice here. Mark Freeman getting the play in from the sideline as the Toros go for 2. Brown holds it, looks to throw, and it's batted up in the air and incomplete. And guess who came over to bat that one down? It's the quarterback, Tyree Gray. They
from
bring
the other side.
Yep. And he's got 3 interceptions when he plays safety, so he's always around the football. And he comes over and breaks that one up.
Yeah, he's just a great athlete.
Yeah, 5'10", 154.
So now you're having 0 for 2 on PATs. Dan Brennan.
Hey, the best playing the best. Some of the top high school football players in Alabama and Mississippi are headed to Montgomery December 13th. 28th annual Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Football Game at historic Crampton Bowl. 2 40-member squads of high school seniors will match their talents in a 12 o'clock clash. Tickets now available online or will be available at the stadium on game day for $10 each. The event is hosted by the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association. Don't miss it. December 13th, and this is a public service message from the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
The AHSA hosting that, and it's nice that they make it 40 on 40. They give each team 40 kids. They don't, make Mississippi bring 30 and Alabama has 40.
That'd be a home field advantage,
Really
would it not? Yes. All on the up and up, Jim. I checked it out ahead of time.
Quinn sends this one back And this will be N'Kobe Maxwell. Maxwell, the sophomore, up to the 36-yard line.
Thought he was going to return that. He got some good blocks up front.
I like these Danny Horn teams.
Yeah,
they're scrappy.
Yeah, they will get after you. Hey, trivia time here. Here we go. What former Benjamin Russell wide receiver once set the NFL record for most receptions in one game?
I think I have it.
Yep, I think we all do.
I've been very confident in weeks past. And
should I put it out there?
Well, it's just no, Vic. We'll wait until.
It's kind of early, Vic.
Well, I'm usually wrong, so.
I think you're right on this one.
Okay.
He also won the Tallapoosa Spelling Bee when he was 9 years old, that same receiver. I should have asked that question. As this is Gray to the outside again, and Gray with the great speed to the 30.
And a great move at the end to pick up another 15 yards there.
Ran by Johnston.
Yeah, he made him stop in his stride with that little step over there. He turns on the juice right here. Then he throws it down on Johnston there and makes him lose his balance and gets him another 10 yards out of the run.
33 yards. Boy, that's another gear there.
You know, you got a well-coached team with a special guy at quarterback when he runs it, and they make the most out of his talent.
Well, you can do that in high school. Yep. You can have one guy and he'll make the team.
We're watching it.
He keeps it here. Now he wants to throw it all alone, able to get it up for the touchdown as he hits Carter Lloyd for his second touchdown of the season.
They got a flag.
But there's a flag back at the 24. I was getting there, Vic Long.
Man.
Illegal man downfield.
Hold the band up there.
Wow. Illegal man downfield.
Well, you know, it's that same play those guys run on the other side of the state there. He can run pass option out there. And
yeah, he had a tackle way downfield.
Yeah, unfortunately in the SEC they missed it, but credit to these guys here, they catch it in high school football.
It's almost as if Vic is biased against one of the
receiver downfield on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. We played first down.
Well, you know, credit to the refs. They got the fumble. They got that one right.
Yep.
And they got that one right there, too, with 2 critical plays.
But when it's a run-pass option, a lineman is supposed to go to the next level. And instinctively, he's going to do it.
Sure.
Until we change the rules, we got to throw the flag.
Yep, I'm with you.
So here's Gray. Quinn Johnson comes in motion. Gray gives it up off the middle to the 34-yard line. Second down and long coming up here.
So, Vic, what are you saying? As an offense, you realize linemen are downfield. You're just hoping it doesn't get detected. You'll take that chance by throwing the pass anyway?
Well, apparently that's what's happening. I mean, they are saying either they need to coach him and say, hey, don't go down the field on this one. Don't go to the second level. Or otherwise, it should be called. But I'm telling you, instinctively, if you're in the field of play and you're playing the game, you get one man, you're going to go to the next level if you're playing the position correctly.
Yeah.
Second and 13, fired on the far side, incomplete. Is that?
Looks like that's their one pass for the night.
Well, I can tell you, if I'm blocking for Tyree Gray, I'm trying to get a hat on somebody.
Yes, exactly.
It can mean 6.
And your guy that you don't go get a hat on could be the difference.
Right.
And he's downfield.
Right.
Some fans bundled up here.
Sideline warning. Flag coming up here's 3rd and long coming up for Benjamin Russell. And
the violation was not on those ladies.
No, it was
not.
They
are well tucked away in the stands.
No, had a great talk with Coach Danny Horn before the game and was talking about his team. And, you know, in the past 2 years, they've graduated, 61 players, 31 seniors 2 years ago, 30 last year. That's a big turnover in back-to-back seasons.
He said this team's really surprised him, and he's really proud of them. They kind of overachieved. They're 10-1.
3rd and 13. Gray with time. Wants to heave it to the middle of the field, looking for Johnson, and it's broken up. That one kind of hung up there just a bit, and Johnson can go up and pull it down.
Yeah, he put it where his receiver could make a play, but he just wasn't able to do it because he had 2 Spanish Fort defenders right there timing the football correctly as well.
Yes, sir, Vic, and you see what Danny Horn does with not the deepest roster. He takes his key personnel. This guy's been playing strong on defense, and he puts them. We need points. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put our best players out on the field.
Morgan Baker was back there in the coverage, and so now Grogan will punt. Tries to put it toward the corner. Good kick.
He's done it.
And it goes, see where they'll mark it out of bounds. It's going to be right at the 10-yard line. So good kick by the sophomore kicker. Hey, want to thank more of our friends here on high school football. Mullen X Ford.
Talked to Willie Gaston today. He said, come see him.
Come see him. $5,000 scholarship they are giving away to one of our student athletes of the year this year. And also thanks to Millsaps and Associates on Azalea Road. They've got all kinds of business insurance and also excellent rates on auto and home. And Wickman's Ace Hardware, specializing in boat lifts and cargo lifts. Cargo, we lift cargo with those lifts. Piers and deck supplies and dock supplies as well. And their all-new in-store paint center. Back come the Toros from the 10, and they gain nothing on first down as they bring Shable back in. And there to make the stop is Tay Robinson.
Tay Robinson's going to make a lot of stops, and he's already made a lot of stops.
And just a junior.
Yeah, he's a junior, and they really, really like him. Just very disruptive, right in the middle.
No gain for the Toros.
Tough to block, right on the ball.
Looking to throw. Brown wants to heave it to the near side. He's looking to Cotton, who's got it to the 45, and now more. Up the sideline, Christian Cotton all the way inside the 30.
Hung it up there, and receiver went up there and got it.
65 yards.
Corner looked like he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he just runs by him right there and finds the football. Doesn't really high point it, but catches it in his basket. Almost thought he was going to run away from the defender and score.
Rogers hustles on the play and saves a touchdown.
Put him to the 25-yard line. Good throw by Brown. That'll help the old confidence of a quarterback with a long completion downfield.
Sure.
Now he wants to run it right up the middle. He'll get to the 20-yard line. We are, you know, just for the 847th reason why these tape delay games are tough on us. You know, we're getting all these exciting scores passed along to us in our headset here, and just talking about them on Saturday night really doesn't do much, because while you're watching this game, you already know all the outcomes.
Well, if you don't know, BC Rain's up 14.
Jimmy, you saying you don't want any more updates?
2nd and 5. No, it's not the updates I want changed, Vic. Brown, all kinds of time, now waits for a receiver to come back, and he's able to hit Marion.
Let's put it this way, Jim. This just in, BC Rain is up 14 24 hours ago. Exactly 24 hours ago.
At this time.
How about the coverage here in the end zone, as that's where Brown wanted to go, and finally just able to get it off to Kevin Marion, and that's good for a first down for the Toros.
Well, that's from the 13. That's real impressive about Brown. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way.
You talked about that, yeah.
Give it off to Petway out of the backfield, and Petway still on his feet. Steps out of bounds at the 4.
Yeah, I think they're going to get him for a hole in it.
Yep.
Could have been a good block, but maybe closer look by the ref. He did see him grabbing something. Right there, 44, I think it is.
Very Wakatu and AU going to be guilty of the block, the hold.
Redway's seeing a lot of action out of the backfield tonight.
Let's listen in here on the call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Jim, you know I was not going to try that name. That's what makes you great.
I'm not trying it. You're not trying it?
Yeah, we have this guy here for that.
I guarantee you, Ashley ain't going to go for it.
we let the expert handle that.
Let Coxie do it. Coxie, he visits the Philippines often.
Brown keeps on his feet. and gets down to the 10-yard line.
That looked like we were watching a video game. It's like, can you make that move? What a play.
It's one of those moves.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
was.
in a ton of traffic, too.
Yeah. He's following Shable. Shable's looking for somebody. Look at that.
Boy, that's Johnson over there. Johnson and Brown have been battling since the first play from scrimmage when he stripped that football out. Then he gave him a little face wash.
No. It's been an eventful game.
And now they snap it to Petway. Now Petway drops it back off, looking to throw to the back of the end zone. They look for Brown. He's got it for the score.
Wow. He actually was open early, and I thought he was going to be late with it and cause an interception, but good job by Brown just taking a step back to catch it.
They get it to the sophomore Logan Morgan, who is then able to get to Brown, who made a great pass to drop it over the defender in the back of the end zone, and Brown with a reception.
I think he was late with it. He just got away with it.
He did.
He got away with it.
He did. Yeah, he threw it deep enough at the back of the end zone.
Yep. That was the key right there, Vic.
Yeah, and Brown was able to high point it there and catch it and get both feet in bounds.
So now they'll just go for one. Quinn takes aim on our camera, and it's now 19-7. And so Mark Freeman gives teams further down the line in the playoffs yet something else they'll have to prepare for in the week of practice. Toros on top, 19-7. Band expert, but I would just think you got to be careful putting your lips on the tuba here tonight. You know, it's like the old cartoons where the cartoon character would lick the, the flagpole when it's this cold out there.
Nice 41 degrees here in Spanish Fort.
Fair catch called for at the 31-yard line.
So not quite 32 yet.
We're heading there.
We are going to get there, I think.
Well,
my plants are in.
90-yard drive for the Toros on 6 plays, and the big one, the 65-yard pass.
Yep. Got him out of the hole.
Yep, to Christian Cotton. And so Brown with another touchdown here tonight, and the Toros on top, 19-7.
Glad that Vic reminded us that his plants are in, because I just started thinking Kim's out of town, which means
a lot of things.
In particular for the plants, Jim, and I don't appreciate that. But the plants are dead, I guess is what I'm saying. They're on their way to being dead.
And you're next.
Maybe.
Gives it off to Chase Burton. And Burton out about the 40-yard line. I was texting my wife on the way to the game. I said, I'm like Jimmy Fallon. I've got my tight pants on here tonight.
Yes, you do.
She said, aren't you going to be inside? I said, well, it still could be cool. I don't know the insulation factor here of the press box.
You look like Luke Bryan at the CMAs. You got your tight jeans on.
Oh, I have more layers on here this evening.
And we're inside.
Yes, we are. That's why we're here tonight, as this one's fired over the middle and almost intercepted as Jake Goodwin was there. He'll bring up third down.
Well, they've thrown more passes than I expected them to thus far.
You know, they were down 21-7 in the third quarter last week against Stanhope and Elmore, and they did put the ball up a little bit in the second half, but you can tell they're not going to want to get away from what they do best.
Yep.
You know, they're not going to panic.
Well, but if they've done their scouting, they know this group gets out ahead. They don't usually turn it back.
Yep.
I think what they do best is keep it in number 8's hands, because this kid can really fly.
3rd and 6, and that's what they do. They've been listening to Coach Brennan on the play. And he steps out of bounds after he gets the first down.
He's just a superior athlete, man. Only a junior? Goodness, he's really something.
We were talking to Coach Horn before the game, and he said he's just come so far. He said he just needed to play. Need to get in some games and play.
You see that a lot, don't you, Vic?
Yeah.
You'll see a kid, you'll be playing with a kid, and you'll think, I think he's pretty good. We're not quite sure. And then a few games in, you say, yep,
yeah,
he can help us.
Or a few practice plays, you'll see, like, yeah, we need to get him more touches. Find a way.
1st and 10, Burton with a big hit again from Maurice Cole. Cole was in there, Campbell was in there. J.D. Campbell.
They're not injury lawyers. They sound like it, and they can deliver the injury.
I need to call one.
Yeah.
Do you take one of those blows?
They'll need the services in a minute.
Campbell, leading tackler for the Toros on the season. Guest on our pregame show earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Pick up a one.
It's a rough and tumble bunch over here.
Give to Burton, stays on his feet, and Burton's going to have another first down.
Yeah, Burton just kind of picking and piling his way through, keeping his shoulders low to the ground, square upfield.
I think that's his game. Like we said, 195 carries coming in, 905 yards. Yep. So, that's his. That's just kind of what you see is what you get here from Chase Burton, another junior.
He had a big 65-yard run last week in that come from behind win. Yep. So he can break it occasionally.
Oh, now movement up front as Anthony Parker, the left tackle, lifted his hand off the ground.
A little anxious to get to his block.
It's an awful. You just know, as soon as it comes, you're like, oh,
False start.
And then
offense, and 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
And then the TV guy, who hasn't mentioned any of my blocks all night long, signals me out on this one. 1st and 15.
That's a big guy in the middle right there, John Stockton. No relation to the Hall of Fame guard.
Are you sure?
I'm not certain. They're not built alike.
Gray steps up, now pulls it down. They keep it in his hands as Dan Brennan advised him to do. And look at this. Gray up the side and steps out of bounds inside the 15.
I'm going to go old school on you here and say Mel Gray.
Yeah, and again, he sidesteps Thomas Johnston right there to make him miss, and then from there it's just turning on the speed. But good angles by the Spanish Fort defense to get him out of bounds.
We see a lot of guys that are quick, Jim. We don't see everybody that's quick and then can
fast
get to that gear.
And then fast. He's on
got
the
it.
edge. Yep, yeah. 28 yards.
He's exciting.
Got his hands on the hip now. He's maybe a little bit winded from all of that.
Tyrick Norris takes the handoff, and Norris spins down near the 5.
Well-coached team. They give themselves a chance.
Sure, and they're using their personnel very well. You notice the quarterback was tired. Let's get him a handoff, real easy handoff here.
This is not Coach Horn's first rodeo.
And he's showing it, right?
Yeah. There's Norris. He's the starting strong safety. About 5 guys that go both ways. They're just not a real deep team this year. Norris cuts it back the other way.
They weren't that deep when we saw him 2 years ago.
And now he stays on his feet, but they're going to say he's down at the 2.
Which will give him a 1st and goal. Yeah, he cuts it back real hard right there.
Jump cut back.
Yeah, and tries to go upfield, but as you can see, well down after the ball comes loose.
1st and goal for the Wildcats, and they'll move Gray up under center.
Wishbone.
Give to Burton. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Defense got a great jump on that one. They've got to change their cadence, so they're going to have some catastrophes in the backfield.
You know, they asked this offense to perfect a lot. You know, wishbone offense used to be wishbone offenses.
Sure.
You talk about multiple.
Yeah, they are truly multiple.
I mean, they go from the spread to the pistol to the wishbone.
2 tight ends and 3 running backs.
Gray looks like he's changing things up here, and play clock at 5. Gray gives it off. Norris in for the touchdown for Benjamin Russell.
Lots of lead blockers leading the way.
Sure. And Norris knows how to set him up and just stick his foot in the ground, and right here cuts on up in the grain through the hole.
Norris with his 16th touchdown of the year. They like to get it to him in those short yardage situations down near the goal line. And he shows why.
They're like that strange smell in my car. They just won't go away. You can't quite identify it, but they won't go away.
Man, many of the sponsors you got, I know it's that new car scent.
Oh, well.
Grogan.
Changing out every month.
With the PAT, and it's good. And,
you're very kind, Vic.
You know, it's 19-14, and those 2 missed extra points. You know, could be... You know, it feels like Spanish Fort has dominated this game at some points.
Well, here's what's happened to me, Jim, is Spanish Fort has been able to move the football.
At will.
They've only stopped themselves. On the other side, it's been Gray. Gray has made the big plays to put Benjamin Russell in a position to stay in this game.
Yeah, it's been a methodical drive versus the quick strike.
More of our friends here on UTV 44 high school football playoff action. They were with us all season long, and of course they're here for the postseason as well. The orthopedic group. Also, Advanced Collision. And Greer's. Dick Lockett.
Yeah, Robert Greer. He's sitting on pins and needles now because Georgia's up by 40 points.
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Maybe wishful thinking on my part.
Lockett just, there's just no...
He can't put it to bed.
No.
And Vic is such an all-around great guy. It's just a shame. It's just a shame.
Everybody's got warts.
Well, that's what makes this state so great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that and the great weather we have all the time. Oh, wait, now we're just,
Not tonight, this weekend,
Kick on the far side. Ladero Petway fakes the handoff to Harrison, and now he's looking to get a block on the edge. Not much doing there, and he's going to be driven back inside the 20. And they just come at you, and they keep coming at you.
Yeah, and I don't know that Martin's going to be real excited with Petway's return right there.
Yeah, he hesitated.
Yeah, a lot.
I think he was trying to set up a couple of blocks that Benjamin Russell had other plans on.
This team is well coached. They play hard. They put their best players in a position to help them the most.
112 block.
Which means they're in the second rounds of the playoff, and they've got championships in the past, correct?
And they're threatening Spanish Fort.
Look at the night Javon Brown's had. Now right up the middle goes Trace Shable, and Shable thrown down at the 39-yard line.
I thought Shable's about to go on to the goal post there.
Yep.
But there was a game-saving tackle there by that defender. Gets through that first layer right there, and then he's at the second level, and you think he's just going to run on through that last block.
Yeah, Rogers.
That last tackle.
Rogers, a good job to stop Shable on that one, but a first down here for the Toros.
Rogers has made 2 big tackles tonight.
That's free safety. He's the last line of defense.
Now they go to Harrison. Shable light.
That's him.
Up to the 45-yard line for the Toros. Winner of this game will get the winner of McAdory, who knocked off Blunt last week. McAdory Oxford.
What a shame for Blunt and Viger.
Both.
Special teams and/or extra points. Otherwise, they both advance.
Sounds like to me they need to do some recruiting.
Yeah, we don't like to use that word. And so
persuasion.
You live on an island.
But congratulations to Blunt and Viger cleaning up at the Eastern Shore Toyota pregame show this week.
Yes.
As Brown spins free, and it'll be 3rd and short coming up. Yeah, our Sean Esfahani and crew over there giving away $20,000 to 4 different teams this year.
I thought, and John St. George with, with the words he spoke, they gave that money to those programs enthusiastically.
Yeah, just part of what they do.
Yeah.
$12,000 to Viger, $12,000 to Blunt, $4,000 to Viger, $4,000 to $2,000 to Baker, and $2,000 to Fairhope as Shable plows ahead for the first down. So,
well, the Bible says you should be a cheerful giver.
Oh, they are.
Those guys are.
And here's the great thing, Vic. So they give away $20,000 to high school football, just part of $100,000 they give away to the school systems. Fine arts, the teacher of the year, music. So it's across the board. Football gets the most publicity for it.
Yep.
But $100,000 in total they give away.
80% of what they give away is not football related.
Yep.
Great corporate partners in our community.
Brown to the near side, fires that one out. Petway with a nice catch. Boy, got his hands out in front of him to pull that one in.
Yeah, all hand-eye coordination. Great job by Brown to get that football out there. I hadn't seen him do that all year, to throw it out there like that for the receiver to make that play.
Yeah, because those are the ones you see as pick sixes. You don't get enough on that. Linebacker like Johnson there is taking it the other way.
That's right.
I may or may not have seen Jay Cutler throw a few of those.
You still watch that team?
Sometimes with my mother.
I'm sure that's a sitcom.
Brown on second down. Out to the near side, overthrown as he was trying to come over here to Ladero Petway.
Well, the Bears have certainly curbed your enthusiasm.
Third and short coming up here for the Toros as we're inside 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Turning out to be an eventful night of high school football down here along the coast.
Such great action.
Jim said he didn't want any more updates.
I just got to speak from the heart, bit.
Brown stays on his feet. Tough yardage there, but he's going to have the first down.
I'm not a follower. I'm a leader.
He's kind of a live in the now type of guy.
Yeah, but because of Montgomery, we're not in the now. What now, Jim?
So Toros inside the 40. I'm going to bring Logan Morgan, the sophomore, back in, who threw that touchdown pass to Javon Brown. Five receivers for the Toros. Brown keeps it up the near side. He'll step out of bounds at the 32 to stop the clock.
Good management. As Dick Lockett has been bragging on this young guy.
Yeah, he does it. I mean, and I know Coach Freeman is excited about that. Just protect the football, young man. You know, you come in the football game, don't beat us. Just do what you need to do to play within the game.
So, Vic, we haven't seen him probably haven't seen Spanish Fort in about a month, I'd say. It's probably been about a month since we've seen him on TV, and he looks like a different quarterback. I mean, he looks so much more comfortable out there right now.
Sure.
Right? Like a little bit like Gray on the other side, just needed some games to play.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Look at that.
Zips it to the near side, and Cotton has the first down to the 26-yard line.
You're not asking a lot right there, but it is a first down.
Yep.
It does move the chains.
You're managing the clock inside 2 minutes.
Yeah, he was on point and on time, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times that's what I say about especially the quarterback position. They need reps in game time action.
Exactly.
And you can't simulate it in practice.
Right, and I think you're seeing that right now.
Brown looks, wants Cotton to the back of the end zone. He's got it for the touchdown.
Great job by the quarterback. Great job by Cotton just to look that football in, stick his hands up at the last minute when the football gets over the defender's head, and look right here. He just sucks it in, pulls it to his body to protect it from the fumble.
It's a great throw. It's a great catch. We are obsessed with watching the highest level of college football on Saturday afternoons. We see a lot of those dropped.
Yep.
Not here, not tonight.
Yeah, Cotton able to go over, Keandre Kendrick, the cornerback there, just 5'5", and just couldn't get up to get that one.
Somebody noticed that.
And Quinn with a PAT. And the Toros now up 26.
Stand tall in the pocket and deliver it right there.
The question was when Tyler Johnston goes down, wow, is all hope lost for ultimately Spanish Fort? I won't say it's state championship or bust, but they're kind of getting used to that.
Right.
So you win 2 in a row. That's what you're thinking. Can this young guy advance us all the way? And now you're starting to watch a guy, you're thinking, maybe so.
Absolutely. What I'm saying, yes, absolutely. You're seeing the progression of this guy get in here. And, he steadied the ship, I felt like, out of the box. They won their first game when he did come back in, and he did not lose the game, and he was a part of making that football game a win.
Yep.
So a 90-yard drive followed up by a 78-yard drive. 3 minutes off the clock on this one, and we're inside a minute to go. And the Toros on top 26-14. Matthew Quinn will kick from for the Toros, and now the Toros offside on this one.
We hear from Ashley Pope for the first time in a while. She's standing next to an ash can fire that she started down around the 36-yard line. And I can't blame her.
Coachman on the kickoff. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So they'll move it back to the 35. And then it seems like it's going to warm up, and another blast coming in right before the game, right before next week's games as well.
I haven't studied the forecast like you have.
Well, Jim's got to know whether he can get that bottom of that boat wet or not.
Yeah, I can tell you, when it is not happening. I mean, there's some hardcore guys that'll go out and fish like this. I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I don't like to venture out of the house. This comes here to Maxwell, and Maxwell out near midfield. And Maxwell going to get it to the 46-yard line. There's some dangerous returners. 18 yards on that one after the 5-yard penalty that backed him up from the kick.
Benjamin Russell putting themselves in a position to try something here before the half.
There's a Benjamin Russell crowd that Dan talked about, made the drive down here. How far a drive? They're about 45 minutes from Montgomery.
Yeah, so you're talking about, you know.
And that's north.
Yeah, 3 hours altogether.
Northeast of Montgomery,
yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Did a little geography studying before this game. You know that was my major, Jim.
Geography.
U.S. geography. Don't give me any quizzes about European now.
What's the most densely populated county in Delaware? You got that one?
Is it D.C.?
Wow. Gray.
Back to football. How about that?
To the far side. That one short was looking to get it to Johnson. Looked like that one may have just slipped out of Gray's hands on the delivery.
I wouldn't be surprised right now, guys, see some sort of a gadget play here. Throw back to the quarterback. Somehow to get, you know, him the ball and in an area of the field where Spanish 40.
There's Danny Horn. We're talking about that great run he had at Clay County. How about in 1996? They had 11 shutouts.
Wow.
11 shutouts in 1996. Gray comes underneath. He gets it off. Quinn Johnson. Johnson with a straight arm and tries to get out of bounds, but he cannot.
Yeah, not allowing him to get out of bounds is our guy, Thomas Johnston.
Yep, they're going to take a timeout here.
11 shutouts.
Yeah, they had, in 1994, they had 10 shutouts, and then in 1996, they had 11 shutouts. Again, they won those great state championships from 94 to 97 during that streak. That's when they won 55 games in a row.
Man.
I mean, he went to Clay County, came back and coached there, and then moved up to 6A. That time came to Benjamin Russell, and they've populations, schools fluctuated up and down a bit. Against their only loss this year came to Opelika in week 3.
The AHSAA reminds fans that we all play a role in the education of our students. Parents, fans, and people in the community all set an example for students, whether they're aware of it or not. Help set a positive example in everything you do, both at the games and in your community. Good sportsmanship is what sets your school apart. It's a public service message from the Alabama High School Athletic Association. That means during the game, right after the game, everybody be good.
In the broadcast booth during the game as well. This would be a flag fest up here. You put one zebra up here, I mean, it would be.
They would be so.
I think I'd be suspended for half the season.
I believe you're right, Big Block. Now we'll see 5 wide receivers. And wanting to pull it down here is Gray, looking to get up the middle of the field. Gray hit at the 30, and he's going to have the first down.
Yeah, that was
stop the clock
all the way. Excuse me, Jim.
Yep, it was.
So those linemen were definitely downfield blocking there.
Let's see if they clock it here, if they just want to get the play off.
Got one timeout left.
I think they're going to clock it. Gray. Ooh, I thought he was maybe going to fake it there for a second. I thought maybe it was going to be the fake.
Well, by stopping the clock for the first down, I don't even know the purpose.
Well, it starts up again as you once the ball is set, then the clock starts again.
You got time to set your offense and run a play.
Yeah, but I guess you're thinking 17 seconds. You don't have not that much time for that many downs. Maybe they didn't have the personnel package in.
Vic, I like you a lot. I'm going to go with the guy with all the state championships.
I would advise you to as well.
Gray looking for Stows, and that one's incomplete.
Yeah, Zig, when he wanted a zag, or Gray was looking for him to come back, he was making a beeline for the pylon.
Marquise Odom there. He'd been out for about the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, we're glad to have him back. Let's see if he doesn't make an impact for the Knights out. Watch it again. See there.
Yeah, just not on the same page with the receiver there, obviously.
3rd and 10 with 12 seconds remaining here in the first half. Gray able to get that one complete. He's got Norris, and Norris at the 21-yard line.
Short of the first down.
Yeah, they're trying to take their last timeout, so they'll have a shot. Now, their kickers were booming. We were watching Cole Grogan drilling from 48 in pregame.
They were talking about the
Sean Rape.
The kicker that was their actual #1 was far superior.
Yeah, said boomed it through the end zone each time, and so teams always had to start at the 20, and then
what an advantage that is.
Soccer player, baseball player blew out his ACL, but then Cole Grogan on the air, he's 2 of 3 for field goals and a long of 41. Virtually no wind. If there's a little bit, it's at his back as he would kick this one. And Coach Danny Horn, 5-3 in playoff games here at Benjamin Russell. Second place finisher in Region 3 this year. Opelika, of course, won that region. They're playing Saraland here tonight. And as you hear me say that, you know who won that game. So from the far hash, and they're going to try the field goal.
Breezes, it's not a substantial wind. I think that it's more crosswind than anything, Jim.
Yep, this is going to be a 37-yard attempt.
It's kind of blowing from the press box side, the Spanish Fort side, toward Benjamin Russell.
Left-footed kicker. Actually makes the angle a little easier for him here. Cole Grogan, the holder, DJ Jackson, and slipping and still able to drill it through a line drive.
Powerful leg there.
Grogan lost his footing as he hits that one, but he gets the 3 points, and that one just gets over the crossbar. He hit it squarely, just didn't get any height on it as his plant foot went out from underneath him. And let's send it down to Ashley. She's with Coach Freeman. Ashley.
Coach Freeman, Javon is having a great game tonight. What can you tell me about that?
He's had a good night. He had a good week of practice. He's had a good 5 or 6 weeks. The kid got thrown into a tough situation, and right now he's playing good for us, making good decisions.
And what about your defense tonight? They're definitely standing out for us.
Yeah, defense has played good all year, and go in here, we got to fix one thing for sure, and go in here and get it fixed and come out and play another half. So what happens.
Thank you so much.
Coach Mark Freeman, what a run he's had here in Spanish Fort.
Well, you get to talk to the coach that's leading at the half, which means we get to talk to him a lot.
Right, sure. So our halftime,
definitely their MO.
26-17, the Toros with the lead. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have the bands here at the half. It's round 2 of the high school football playoffs here on UTV 44. Toros on top 26-17 here in round 2 of the playoffs. Big band from Benjamin Russell. Let's go down and enjoy their halftime show. Halftime score here, 26-17. The Toros on top. Let's go down and enjoy the Spanish Fort Band.
Spanish Fork High School marching Toro band. Ladies and gentlemen, Spanish Fork High School marching Toro band was in the Walt Disney World.
We're glad that flag isn't whipping right now. It would be a really cold one.
We're just glad we're inside.
Yeah. 26-17 our score at the half. You can see the blankets. Our first really, really cold night of high school football here on UTV 44. You know, Dan, you had a great point before the game, I thought, when we were talking with Coach Horn down on the field. We were talking about it being cold, and you said, hey, if you're playing when it's cold, that's a good thing, right?
That's a good thing. You know, we're second weekend of the playoffs. We didn't expect it to be this cold, but it is. And also, what a game we've had so far. You know, I'm telling you, this Benjamin Russell team comes a long way. They are a prohibitive underdog, and yet they play hard. They're well coached.
I think one thing we've been impressed with is Javon Brown, the way he's played here tonight, Big Lockett.
Javon Brown, he's taking care of the football, other than that fumble in the beginning of the game. But since then, he's done well, and we have, you know, noted the progress he's made since we first saw him.
Tyree Gray got the scoring going early here. Boy, he's been dynamic, and we've seen what this young man can do tonight.
I mean, look, once he turns the corner, man, he just got another gear, and off he goes. And I think Spanish Fork was a little surprised with just how fast he is.
This was the Logan Morgan throwing it to Javon Brown in the back of the end zone, and Toros had a 2-touchdown lead at that point, and then coming back with the Wildcats. But then look at the big throw and catch here to the end zone for the touchdown. Christian Cotton had a big reception early in the first half as well, and a touchdown there. See total yardage pretty even, 186-170 in favor there of Benjamin Russell on the rushing side of things, and then overall lots of offensive numbers being put up here tonight as we get ready to kick things off in the second half. Grogan, who had the 37-yard field goal with a high kick to the far side, and this will be taken by Cotton at the 20. And Cotton right out to the 26-yard line, and let's go down to Ashley Pope on the sideline.
I caught up with Coach Horn coming back on the field, and he was a man of very few words. He just said, we've got to stop them. We've got to move faster, and we've got to stop them, is what he kept reiterating.
Yeah, they really haven't done much of that defensively. They have not slowed down Spanish Fort. They had the one turnover that really helped to slow them down. But past that, the offense has been clicking for the Toros.
Yeah, but their offense has been good enough where they can be in this game. Certainly, they do have to get some stops.
Probably hadn't encountered an offense that is such a powerhouse. Like
Brown, he's got Petway to the near side of the 40 on the run pass option. Petway inside the 20, the 10, 69-yard touchdown to open up the second half for the Toros.
Ironic comments, right?
Sure, and they're picking up right where they left off, where they're making big plays here and there. But at first they were driving the ball down methodically. This has really been the first time we've seen them do a big shot and get the touchdown.
Mark Freeman very excited on the sideline. He loved that play call, and the execution wasn't bad either.
Yeah, well, might remind you a little bit of Nick Marshall right there. Yep. You just got to come up and defend the run.
Yeah, and they took a page out of their offense for sure with that run pass option there. He elected to pass, and it comes up big.
Quinn with the PAT. Oh, goes. Did that hit one of our crew up there in the camera? I think it did. Wow, what a great play. Javon Brown able to get with Darryl Petway, and then Petway with a one move. That's all he needed, and he's got some speed as well.
Let's get a medic up there.
32-17, the Toros build on their lead. All right, so the rare holding on a PAT call here. And this will make it a 30-yard point after attempt.
As he takes aim on our camera booth again.
Wow. Yeah, that was. It looked like someone was trying to. They were wrapped in a blanket and just tried to duck out of the way. And
I don't think they ducked quick enough.
No. Up there, that was. It might not be part of. I don't think that's part of our crew.
Okay.
It is part of our crew, says Brian Aaron. All right, here's another attempt. And also, this one good without any injuries on the play.
Yeah. Andrew might be out next week, looks like.
Already listed as questionable on the injury report for round 3.
One good thing about this tape delay job is we already know if Andrew lived or not.
I don't think it was Andrew was the one who was wrapped in the blanket that got hit. It didn't look like an Andrew up there. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying the intel I'm getting.
Well, I'm telling our intel, Brian, here that she was wrapped in a brown blanket there. It appeared to be one that was hit.
Well, the point is that Spanish Fort comes out swinging here in the second half and establishes quickly a bigger lead.
I have never seen Mark Freeman that animated on the sideline after a touchdown. He was very, very amped up.
He must have drew it on the eraser board there in halftime. But, you know, this is that Spanish Fort team. They get up on you, and they keep their foot on the accelerator just to make certain that they can get some distance from you. You're not able to come back on them.
Quinn with a high kick, and Tyrick Norris fair catches this one at the 32-yard line.
I bet their statistics are very, very much in their favor when they're leading by halftime.
No doubt.
Take a look at.
Get Brian working on that one.
More of our friends who bring us high school football all year long, including Aaron's. Also, budget brakes, lifetime warranty brakes starting at just $89.99 and alignments at just $59.99. And Faulkner State, they brought you our educator spotlight all season long. And Chicken Salad Chick, they offer catering for groups of all sizes. They take care of our crew all throughout the games this season. Getting ready to open up a new store over here in Baldwin County, so we welcome to this side of the bay.
I got me a pound this week.
Attaboy, Vic Lockett.
And Jim, you'd be proud. I didn't eat it all in one sitting.
I thought you'd be proud because you didn't get extra mayo on it, Vic.
Jim Cox, under the impression, and I don't know where he reads this stuff, that mayonnaise isn't good for you.
He's not from the South. That's it.
You, man.
That's part of it.
I'm just going to get back to the play-by-play here. From the 44, and Greg gets it off to Burton, who's chased down, and then he runs into Cole, and Maurice Cole finishes him back there. And now, they throw a flag as Cole was back there with Jake Goodwin. It just kind of looked like they were finishing out the play. I wouldn't say anything egregious here, Vic Lockett.
You know, maybe the whistle's going and they're just not adhering to it.
Yeah, that last little shove there may have agitated the official.
That might have been it right there, the shove. It wasn't egregious, it was just enough. You know, when you're a parent, you're telling the kids no more. He doesn't have to do something real bad.
That's Mark Freeman not liking the explanation from Tim Dees.
Red ball, personal foul on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. That's a first down.
And he said that to Mark Freeman. He said it was the extra shove right at the end.
And I can imagine the referee saying, okay, hold up, and blowing the whistle, and then that shove just kind of put him over the top. Like, we can't have that.
Yeah, maintain your poise here in the football game.
First and 10, Greg Burton on the right side. And Burton inside the 40 to the 39. Second and 5 coming up here. Here's how Benjamin Russell got here. You can see that only loss coming in the 4th week. And the only loss this year was to Opelika. And so I beat Stanhope Elmore. There's a flag for a hold.
Yeah, there was the hold right there.
Wow, Keon White held at the 40-yard line, and that'll back him up 10. So we'll wait for Tim Dees to bring us the call here.
Looks like they're going to get Tucker McCaleb.
During the run, holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, replay second down.
Tucker almost got himself. I mean, it was that egregious.
Yeah. So back inside the 50 here. The Toros needed just one play to go 69 yards to open up the scoring here in the second half, and they built the lead to 33-17. Gray wants to screen it over the middle. He's able to get that one off and complete Marquise Odom, and Odom just back to midfield.
Marquise did a good job just navigating the defenders to get the quarterback to find in there, and he does a great job catching it and just living to play another down.
You can see how they were missing a talent like that, Jim. They're glad to have him back. And again, let's keep an eye on him number 9 and see if he doesn't produce a big play before everything's out, because Horn does such a good job of getting his players with the most ability in a position to succeed offensively.
3rd and 17. Odom said he maybe could have played last week against Stanhope Elmore, but held him out, and now he's back out there tonight, and 4 wide receivers.
Well, there is no tomorrow.
Coming back to the near side, and that one short hopped as he was looking for Cy Stows.
Trying to set up a wide receiver screen again.
Remember Lou Piniella pulling Carlos Zambrano, the Cubs pitcher, out of a tie game, waiting for a playoff game that's yet to be played.
Yeah, right. They just had their act together in Chicago every way you slice it right now.
So I'll bring up 4th down here. And Grogan will come on to punt. Darrell Petway inside the 20. Oh, there was movement there. That's going to back him up 5 more as the up man just moved a little, and a 5-yard penalty.
Start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
I think his crew's done a good job tonight.
You really have. You know, and how about, Cruz seeing, maybe you see the wishbone. You don't see that a lot. Also for the officials,
yeah,
they have to be
they have to be
prepared.
Aware.
Yeah, they've done a good job here tonight. And Grogan back, 30, high snap, great high punt. Petway at the 22. Gives us a chance to hear more from Dan Brennan.
I can't wait for this one. In Alabama, good sportsmanship is a high school tradition. Some of the time, whether at home or on the road, make our schools, our communities, and our students proud of displaying positive sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship and positive citizenship vital in the development of good citizens. The Alabama High School Athletic Association gladly welcomes the challenge of being a leader in sportsmanship and continuing this proud tradition.
Toros from the 23. Cam Harrison across the 30.
Wow, that was some nice moves out of that young man on that little draw.
Well, Shable's pop out there at halftime, and I told my dubbed Harrison Shable Light. He got a big kick out of that. Yeah, he liked that.
Little spin move at the end there.
That's a kid who plays like, this may be my last play.
Yeah, he's got some talent.
Yeah.
Flag.
And some toughness.
I think this one going to be against Benjamin Russell. They jump offside, and that'll give the Toros a 1st down. Kind of.
Dead ball, encroachment. On the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
We play 2nd down.
Kind of feel
know
like,
where you're going there.
Yeah, kind of might be starting to get away from a little bit.
Hurting themselves. Again, less depth, more guys going both ways. There's a few variables going against the guys that have traveled a long way to be here tonight, but you can see it's a really well-coached team, fine program.
Brown gives it off, and Quinn Johnson came in there and put a big lick on, and you can see trying to strip that ball out again like he did on the first play from scrimmage for Spanish Fort.
He's been active.
He's a senior.
Yeah, been playing some wide receiver as well.
Yep, one of those two-way starters.
Yeah, well, if you're a special player, they'll find ways to get you on both sides of the ball.
Tough in 6A, though, when you do it.
Yeah, it is.
4 or 5 guys.
It is.
Through the whole game, not just in special situations.
Yep, you're right. And the 4 bad injuries this year left this team a little shallow.
Brown wants to go up top down the near sideline, and that one out of bounds and incomplete.
Yeah, he had his choice of receivers. He decided to take the outside guy, but led him completely out of bounds. I thought he was going to hit the guy on the post on the inside of the route.
Oh, boy, he had him there.
He had a step, didn't he?
Yep. 3rd down here for the Toros as we approach 8 minutes to go in the 3rd.
There was a little guy on the sidelines there that was, they were playing some football on the sidelines and completely unaware of what was coming at him. I'm glad everybody's okay down there.
The game outside of the game. Huh?
Yeah, that one's a little too close to the lines.
Yeah, not a lot of room over here.
No.
They give it off. Harrison to about the 43-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down, and Toros will punt this one away.
He tried to see if he popped one of those long, quick runs on him.
Right.
Make sure the defense is staying honest, and was up to the cause and the task.
Come popping through there. There's a stir been waiting. Twin linebackers.
From the 30.
That's not a football term. They're twins.
Barry Wakatu and Ayu.
You're so proud of that, aren't you?
Not a very good kick. And the Toros down at the 37-yard line. Here's our trivia. Former Benjamin Russell wide receiver. Once set the record for most receptions in a game.
Stomped on the star.
That'd be him.
Yep.
Terrell Owens, you know, played for Steve Savarese. There wasn't a star in high school. I mean, wasn't a what you would expect.
Was it like Michael Jordan? The only guy that could hold him under was Dean Smith.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, I've talked with some friends that got him on the basketball court back when he was young and said he was nothing known out there as well.
Michael Jordan?
No, Terrell Owens.
You know, Owens, you know,
he developed.
Yes.
Somebody got hurt as a senior, and he started to have a big year there. This one nearly picked to the far side. Wow, as that one was in the air, and the ball and blowing it dead. But Jake Goodwin timed that, and that looked like, for a second, I thought it was going to be a pick 6.
But he elected to make the big tackle. He wasn't going for the football.
And I'll tell you, that probably was a lateral. We talked about how these guys have made every call. That one, I think.
That's Tony Mitchell
should
there.
have remained live.
Yes.
It was 26, not 25. It was Mitchell, not Goodwin. And wow. And
there's just a lot going on there.
Shoo. And Johnson, can't believe there wasn't some type of flag on that one.
He got hit high.
Get back to T.O. and his playing up at Benjamin Russell.
Well, he ended up going to Chattanooga.
Yep. Now they give it up the middle, and Burton slips down on that one. Yeah, and really, you know, didn't have he wasn't what you would just expect, what you would think in high school for what he turned out to be.
Such a beast.
Yeah, and so then goes on and has the great career. Of course, he caught those 20 balls in a game on Jerry Rice's last game as a 49er, and was supposed to kind of highlight him, and turned out the Bears were able to hold, Chicago Bears able to hold T.O. to 20 catches on the day.
I see the Bears are involved again.
And now stepping up, Gray feels some pressure. Now he's going to have to pull it down, still on his feet. Blocked to the near side, as that was Johnson who came up and put the block on J.D. Campbell. And Johnson, no quitting that young man.
No. Good clean block, too.
And he's still a little peeved from the big hit he just took 2 plays ago.
Yeah, now Campbell's peeved. He's passed it along. Bang! Look at that.
But he got the shoulder in front and 21 yards
totally
for Gray. Yep. Well, he's also, you know, he starts at linebacker and also at wide receiver, so he kind of gets the best of both worlds, or the worst of both worlds, as we saw a couple plays ago.
Campbell got the worst right there.
Gray with the first down up to the 45. Burton grabbed there by Thomas Johnston.
I'm blown away by the agility and speed of Gray at quarterback. Yep. He's really, you know, we've been watching this all year. Some of the best football in the state is right here in South Alabama.
Yep.
He's sticking out to me, Vic.
Yeah, I agree with you. He is a
great athlete.
Talented young man. Bright future ahead of him.
2nd and 9. 154 yards rushing tonight for Gray. And he'll roll out and look to add some passing numbers here. Now he tries to slip back, and he'll be wrapped up and dropped down as he tried to get to the outside, and J.D. Campbell comes up with his 4th sack of the season.
Yep, he's the guy that just got blocked into Tuesday. Look at him. He plays hard.
Yeah, and when that quarterback rolls out, he's got an automatic dog rush on, so he goes over there and sacks him.
Campbell's got good size.
Tell you, he looks the part, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
6'2", 220. 3rd and 14 coming up.
That's awfully big and rangy for a high school linebacker, Vic.
No doubt, no doubt. And he's still growing, I bet.
Gray goes to the far side. He gets it complete over there to Carter Lloyd, well short of the first down. But let's see if Coach Horn decides that being down by 16 and 5 minutes to go in the third on the plus side of the 50 if you go for it.
Well, I think the fact that it's Spanish Fort and you really haven't done much of a job. Spanish Fort just punted for the first time.
Yep.
Last time they had it, so they almost force your hand to go for it here.
And they're going to take a timeout to talk about it with 5 minutes to go in the third. Spanish Fort on top 33-17 here on UTV 44's high school football game of the week. Toro fans happy here.
Student section having a good time.
Yep. Well, they've never seen their team lose here at home in the playoffs. 12-0. That's so impressive.
Yeah, because again, playoffs. Jim Mora knew this. We do too. You're playing good teams.
That's right.
You're in the playoffs. You're good, and whoever you're playing is good.
Everybody's good at this time of the year, as Terry Curtis liked to tell us in years past. And speaking of everybody's good, how about that young man?
Yeah,
Tyree Gray. 4th and 7.
He's exciting and a competitor.
Probably be a little bit bigger when he comes back as a senior, just 154 pounds.
Yeah.
5 wide receivers. Gray rolls out to the right. Now wants to throw lasers one, and it's broken up. Good coverage over there by Jake Goodwin, able to get a hand on it and knock it away, and they'll turn it over on downs.
Yeah, looks like he threw it. Looks like he was pushing it downfield, but a little bit right behind the receiver and wasn't able to connect with him.
Yeah, good coverage by the Toros downfield, nothing there, and then he tries to really rifle one and just a touch behind.
Yeah, also, did you notice the linebackers kind of spying on Gray, not giving him a lane, an obvious lane pick?
Good point.
He would have taken off, but he kind of felt that they had an eye on him.
And now the Toros get it back at the 43. Brown play action. Comes to the near side. It's complete to Marion, and Marion forced out of bounds right at the midfield stripe.
Pretty good arm right there.
Yep.
Get it out there, like you say, you throw that, you lollipop this one, somebody's coming the other way.
Yeah, good target there. Big Kevin Marion. Uncle Zeph celebrating his birthday today.
Well, Brown 7 of 9 tonight for 189 yards, and right up the middle, Daryl Petway makes a move on Gray, but Gray gets an arm on him to bring him down to the 30, and it's first down coming up here for the Toros, and they're back in business again.
Petway out of the backfield more than we've seen this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't need a lot of space, as you can see right there. He just sidesteps the tackler up at the front of the line and almost makes the last line of defense miss him.
He'll stay back in there with Brown, and he'll get it again, and this time wants to come to the right, and boy, just squirts through a little hole, and he's inside the 10, and it's first and goal, Spanish Fort.
Running that old Washington Redskin counter trait, got that guard and tackle pulling around there, and then he just makes the cut right off the blocks right there. Like Jim said, doesn't need a lot of space. Little guy there, he just squirts on through there for a big gainer there for his team.
4 carries, 54 yards tonight for Petway.
Ran a semicircle there, and it resulted in a nice gain.
At the 8-yard line, first and goal. And now we'll go Wildcat with Petway at center. And they put Brown as the back, and Brown takes the pitch in for the touchdown.
Wow, how about using all your personnel to get in different formations to confuse the offense?
Flag at the 5 here.
Probably I was holding. I thought they may have been a formation issue because they took a long time to get lined up correctly.
Mark Freeman out there wanting a number on who that's called on, and official pushing Coach Freeman back to the sideline.
For the offense, that's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Oh, boy, that was a well-designed, nifty little version we hadn't seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's getting late in the season. You can afford to use your quarterback like that now. Remember, there is no tomorrow. You don't win tonight. You don't have next week to go to practice. Put the pads up, get them cleaned up for next year.
We'll be back next week, won't we, Vic? Lock it in now.
We'll keep our pads on, Jim, yes. You got some Oklahoma coming Tuesday.
Ooh. See, I don't like my chances to show up on Friday if I got to go through that on Tuesday. I don't like my chances. That little bull in the ring thing, it's just not really for me.
All right, since you're such a veteran, we'll give you Tuesday off.
Maintenance day. I need a maintenance day.
Imagine how many people would take a cheap shot at Cox if they had the chance. The line would be like across the county line.
You think you've seen backups on the Bayway before?
Yeah.
So first and goal back to the 19 for the Toros. They pitch it out. Petway wants to throw it, looking for Cotton, and that one wobbles up. It'll be intercepted in the end zone by Gray.
Yeah, you saw the pass coming all the way because he overemphasized running the football, and the DB didn't bite it all, and then he threw a bad pass.
And the DB's our guy Gray, the quarterback.
Yeah, oh wow, yeah. Well, they lucky he fell down going backwards as he's subject to taking 100 yards.
Exactly.
How about Vanya Kai down there in the sidelines, our photographer, getting a great shot of that kind of wobbly pass coming right at you in your living room.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Down there in the elements, and great job there. And Mark Freeman, I think, really not happy with his offense because of what happened. He is screaming over there because of that holding on the touchdown that took points off the board.
Yeah. Sure, that whole sequence of event. There's a good shot of Vanya right there.
He is a
spot-on guy.
You know, I think when you watch broadcasts on television, you sometimes don't realize the talent of the people that are bringing you the pictures.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because, you know, those shots just don't happen. You have to be very talented at your job, and we're fortunate to have a whole crew of them here.
I think Jim's talent jumps out at y'all, and we get that. Jim Cox, play-by-play. But it's these unsung heroes.
Jason Walsh there.
That guy right there. I've got so much to say about him personally. A lot of it's not good, but there he is.
Well, I high-five that group before I come up here every week.
Yeah,
it's making me look decent.
They're great.
Gray has a step here. Now he turns the corner, and Gray up to the 40-yard line. Then a late hit is going to add more to it.
Yeah, flags flying all out of the stands on that one. I mean, it was raining yellow Yankees.
He's a little banged up, too. Hopefully he's okay. That was a very, very late hit. The safety came a long way.
Yeah, let's see if it's more of an accidental collision here on the end. Watch, so right here, he was...
Maybe.
Yeah. It wasn't...
But you almost
certainly worth the penalty. Oh, certainly worth the flag.
The defense. Late hit out of bounds, 15 yards from the end of the run. That's a first down.
You can tell... a guy like Gray, you play against him, Vic, he may be maddening to play against, but if you're on defense playing against him, you do respect the type of player you're going up against.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you almost want to take a shot at him, but you certainly got to do it within the field of play.
Give up the middle. Do we misidentify a cameraman? Do we say Jason Walsh? Jason Welsh?
Only one of us did.
Okay.
I don't know where the we comes from.
Just wondering. Make sure. There we go. All right. All right. See, there we go. Now, Jason. He was all mad.
Give me this right.
Well, he was really mad at what Brendan was saying, and then he misplaced his anger in a little slight mispronunciation of his last name.
Like an offensive lineman, you know? He only gets noticed for the wrong thing.
For a hole.
Mm-hmm. Usually we see him, he's reading a book when he's supposed to be working, so.
Well.
Jason, I love you, man.
So down to the 35. Yard line is Tyreek Norris there with the carry. Looks like the Toros going to move on to, well, we got a lot of football left, but they certainly look like they're in control of this football game.
Benjamin Russell, they're putting together a drive here.
They're pesky.
They're not going away easy.
Yep, they were down 2 scores last week. Came back to win in overtime. Norris up the middle. We were talking to Coach Horn, Dan, about, you asked him on the field before the game about just kind of the difference between this team, the Spanish Fort, this year than the one he saw a couple of years ago when they came down here. And he said, just flat out, he said they're better on defense. He said they are better on defense.
Yep.
And that was a team that had some talent on that side of the ball as well.
Yeah, I mean, they were not without, you know, there was a state championship team.
Yep, right.
One of their several. Mark Freeman's first.
Yep.
That was a good team.
2nd and 9. Gray looking to this side. Now he's going to dance back over to the right. Now wants to unload into coverage there in the end zone, looking for Johnson. And he's got it for the touchdown.
Scrappy.
Yeah, I tell you what, he looked over here to our side of the field at the single route receiver over here, and he had twins over there with those 2 receivers there. And they noticed him scrambling, so Quinn just stuck his hands up and said, just throw it deep. I'll go get it, brother.
Yeah, he's a nice, rangy athlete.
And he put it where he can make a play.
That's a leading receiver on the year. Now let's take a look at this. Let's watch.
Yeah, he's looking over here to that single side. Then he goes back to the twins.
I'm not sure he got this. Let's see.
And he throws it over there. Wow.
That is not a touchdown.
Well, nice party,
Jim, but it is now.
It is.
Officially, it goes in the books.
And the PAT is good.
Yep.
And so it's now 33-24 with 51 seconds to go in the 3rd. But how about the game Quinn Johnson's had? He has played well on both sides of the ball here tonight.
Yes, he has. We've noticed him the whole game.
Well, he does stand out.
Benjamin Russell Band celebrating the touchdown. And 11-point lead for the Toros. And I think that's that last touchdown that came off the board really, I mean, that's a 14-point swing we just saw there.
Now you know why Mark was so mad.
Right. So you had a touchdown called off the board because of a holding call. Then you throw an interception in the end zone, the dreaded red zone turnover.
Yep. Will it come back to get you?
Yeah.
Just did. And again, you know, our observation of this team has been the same. They take the key players that they have that they think are their most talented, and they put them in positions to make plays.
Sure.
He's got to be creative with the talent that he has, because they're not all that deep, and this comes from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, that's great coaching.
Yeah,
maximize
no doubt.
the talent you have, and don't ask kids to do things that they're not capable of doing.
Maybe a little something on the kickoff here?
I don't think so.
And Petway takes it at the 11. Waiting for some room up the middle. And Petway up to the 33-yard line.
Real patient.
And after the kickoff gives us a chance to hear more from Dan Brennan.
Well, I'll tell you what. Win or lose, the name of the game is sportsmanship. In our education-based high school athletics, the lesson learned on the court and in the bleachers is good sports are winners no matter what the score. Support high school athletics with good sportsmanship. A public service message from the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
We need to keep that in mind if we try to leave here and someone blocks us in with a park job like the last time we were here, because I'm not so sure the sportsmanship was great when we were trying to get out of here about a month ago. So we got movement up front from the Toros.
I mean, forget Montgomery. We might have had sheriff's deputies involved there.
False start on the Toros. So Dan and I got blocked in here after the last time we were here.
Must we tell all our secrets, Jimmy? Really? Remember, your mother's in town. She's watching this.
No, I had to. The note I left was probably over the top, huh? Well, now I've just said that I was the one who left that note.
Nice going.
As the throw comes to the near side and caught by Marion.
So let me get this straight. You did not attend law school. Hey, let me ask you about Marion, because he's a big, rangy kid. We knew him. We saw him a few years ago at McGill-Tulane. He moved to this side of the bay. He seems to have everything a lot of people are looking for. You don't see him with the ball in his hands much.
Yeah, I think Coach is just, using him where he can. He's got a big body, and Coach Freeman knows what he's doing. He's using him as a decoy sometimes, and then some of the time he's blocking.
Brown has this one picked off on the far side. Rodney Carroll with his second pick of the year.
What a pick.
And back-to-back turnovers by the Toros, but we have a flag back at the 30-yard line. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think it may be something on the quarterback back there.
Yep. Let's see.
Late hit?
Yeah.
Went as late as it was high, probably. Boy, that's unfortunate because that's a great play right there.
That is. He was with him step for step, stayed in his hip pocket.
The effort right there, and Spanish Fort instead is going to keep that football.
Rodney Carroll.
Yeah, I think going to the head. Yep, targeting the head.
Yeah, it was just high.
Well, you don't have to do much to be high.
No, you don't.
On him because he's such a short guy.
And the other thing is you're trying to maybe block the pass. I mean, that's a. I know it's safety first, but it puts defenders in an odd position as they're rushing the quarterback.
Targeting against the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. That's a first down.
Tough call, but probably the right call.
Takes Carroll's interception off the board. That could have really started to change things around. As we'll see if Johnson was the guilty party.
He plays hard.
Moves it into Benjamin Russell territory. On the keeper, Brown. He's thinking about throwing it again. Instead, he'll be hit and driven out of bounds. The 46.
How about Benjamin Russell putting up 24 on the road in 3 quarters?
Against a team who gives up 9.9 a game.
Right, down here in South Alabama.
And that may be the last play of the third quarter, as the Toros will just let the clock run out, and we'll come back and start quarter number 4. Here's Spanish Fort with a lead, 33-24 over Benjamin Russell. Fourth quarter action coming up right after this. Here we go, ready to start the fourth. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Mark Freeman down there on the Toros sideline. Jared Kihas in the truck. Brian Aaron, our statistician, with us. Ashley Pope on the sideline. I say sideline. She hasn't ventured more than 18 inches from one of the space heaters down there.
She's under the tent.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a tailgate party. It's a football game.
Well, Ashley, I can't blame you. It is cold.
It's chilly. It is chilly.
Let me give you a temperature update over here in Spanish Fort.
And again, so this is the
39.
So 24 hours ago,
it was 39 degrees.
It was 39 degrees.
This update brought to you by Vic Lockett.
We break news to bring you weather history here on the UTV 44 Game of the Week.
There's big Marion that we were talking about. He can be quite a mismatch.
He can. And they use him to shield out some of these players when they're running their screens a lot.
Yep. You can see that big body can get people out of the way.
That's right. That's right. He'd like to get more touches himself, too.
Give it up the middle, and this is Shable. And the ball came loose at the end of that play. And the officials, again, we did not see a beanbag tossed out.
The ball was never loose. I think it was just grabbed. So it was always in possession of somebody. Wow. I think that's what made that call tough.
And
watch the end of the play.
Well, he's open there in the middle of the field. They're trying to get it out.
Boy, get after it and strip the ball out, and Johnson trying. Yeah, Johnson trying again from the backside. They're a gritty team,
no doubt.
10-1 for a reason.
Let me talk about again the history of this coach.
Yep. Coach Horn won 6 state championships when he was over at Clay County.
Think about that.
6 state championships, won 55 straight games. That's an Alabama record. And then came over here, and this is his 6th season at Benjamin Russell.
Well, they got the guard for movement here.
Once Tay Robinson's moving forward, he's coming.
I think they got Sam Howard there.
66 is a good player.
Well, Mark Freeman unhappy over here at that pre-snap penalty. It's been a bit of an odd game in stretches.
I would agree with that.
Coach Horn talked about.
He just has a plan to keep his team in the game. And Spanish Fort is used to dismissing teams. He doesn't let his team get dismissed.
They're definitely hanging around and staying in class here.
Getting to Shable. Shable stood up at the 30.
Well, look at the hitting right at the whistle. Spanish Fort Toros flying downfield to get a piece of somebody, even though it's away from the play. But that's
never know when their guy's gonna squirt loose, especially that guy.
Sturdivant. That's Scott Sturdivant with that tackle there. So we're a minute and a half into the fourth.
Old Shable's 5'10" both ways, isn't he? Tough kid.
Wakatu goes in motion, and now looking to throw. Brown. Brown's going to pull it down. Got around a hit from Johnson, and then is brought down. And it'll bring up a fourth down situation here for the Toros.
I think if you look back here, he'd have wished he'd have gave right there rather than pull it out, because the defensive end did not bite.
Johnson with a big hit, and then Robinson able to finish him off.
You know, when this team got off the bus, these two teams didn't know each other at all.
Yeah, they do now.
They do now. They really do now. They're going getting after it.
4th and 7. The Toros will go for it.
They may feel confident to let Brown put it in the air.
I think Mark Freeman's going to take a timeout before they snap this one.
Need a little more clock, you think?
Better call it now.
And he does.
He goes. Yeah, Mark had that under control on the sideline the whole way. He was standing right next to the side judge and the linesman. And
yeah, he wanted to eat as much clock as he can to take it away and to maintain control of this game.
There's been a lot in this game, including a lot of Dan Brennan. Here's some more.
Well, it's a lot of fun doing these, I can tell you that, as a paid professional announcement. You know, good sportsmanship is a top priority for the AHSAA, the member schools. And while you enjoy the outstanding event, please give all student athletes your positive support and encouragement. Booing, taunting, and derogatory remarks, aside from the ones in the booth, launched at each other. Of course, that's not part of what the game should be. Unacceptable. A public service message from the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Amen. I agree with all of it. We don't.
Were you a chirper on the field, Vic? Were you chirping? No, we didn't chirp much. No.
I had to think too much about what the play was called.
Didn't have time to say anything.
Yeah, that's right.
I said, you know, we do this, and we've been doing it such a long time. We do see great sportsmanship down here on both sides of the bay from our schools. It's really something that all of the coaches down here stress.
You know, and I like because Vic's quick to point that out, too. You know, it really catches his eye.
Well, it stunned me, really, to be honest, how well the kids are.
All right, here we go. 4th and 7.
Each other.
Yep, 4th and 7. Pair receivers each way. And Brown looking to pass. Steps up in the pocket, comes to the near side. He was looking for Marion, and it's incomplete. And the Benjamin Russell defense comes up with a hold.
Yeah, they brought the pressure off the edge, and I thought he was going to step under the run.
Yeah, I did too.
Since they brought the pressure, he could have.
Yeah. Part of his maturation, I guess he's trying to be a bit of a pocket passer there.
Right.
Benjamin Russell gets it back. Here down by 9 with 9.5 to go. And Gray will bring out Chase Burton with him in the backfield. They also bring Sam Sturdivant into block on the left side, and they'll try to go that way, and then Burton gets bottled up at the line of scrimmage, maybe lost one.
That play ended abruptly. Penetration on the right side of that Spanish Fort defense. And the Spanish Fort defense, speaking of which, it's time to get a stop.
Mm-hmm. No gain on first down. Gray on the keeper on the left side. He's looking to turn the corner. And he'll step out of bounds after gaining 7.
Yeah, you know, when you have speed like Gray, finding the corner and finding the edge is the way to go.
Sure.
Because he can do it.
Yeah, once he gets that edge, he's shown that he'll get down the line of the edge and hitting his head on the goalpost in any second. We'll be looking at his tail light.
It's about 192 yards for Gray tonight.
Sneaky,
and it's been kind of quiet. He's had a couple of big chunks, but he's about to go over the 200-yard mark. Gives it off. Tyrick Norris trying to get outside, and he's going to lose a couple.
Yeah, they just stretched him on out there, and he had nowhere to go.
Brings up 4th down.
Ooh. Got a Toro banged up a little bit.
Yeah, Tony Mitchell.
Like Mitchell, yeah. He's in a little bit of pain. Good size safety, 5'11", 190. Good looking player. He's only a junior too. He's hurting right now though.
Wow, they're gonna go for it here, Dan?
I think with 7:40 left. 4th and a long 4. Play clock now at 3. They're gonna have to hurry to get it off, and they do. Gray rolls out, looks, now he's going to reverse. He can run for it if he pulls it down. Tries to get up to the line of scrimmage, drops the shoulder, and he's got the first down. How about the guts and toughness on that one?
Yeah, he put the spin move on our guy, Thomas Johnson. Man, I tell you what, Thomas is going to be thinking about him later on. All the shots he's had a chance to get on him. Right here, he just tucks it down and says, hey, I'm going to just get it. That spin move right there gets him past the sticks to kickers.
Yeah, that's a, you know, he flooded this side of the field with those receivers. I think it authentically they wanted to throw the ball for the first down, but good idea for him. Yeah, good coverage. He cuts it back.
1st and 10 from the 44. They convert on 4th down. Gray again wants to keep it, and he's across the 40 to the 46-yard line. It's a cold night out there, and let's find out how everybody's trying to stay warm with Ashley.
This is what I call the Spanish Fort heat camp. We have the industrial size heaters that have actually melted some of our camera guys' shoes tonight. They have got the lamps. They have got it closed in so the wind cannot come in. We've got tents. I may or may not confirm with y'all this is where I've been hiding out, but I'm in the action, and this is where I need to be.
Yeah, we haven't seen you anywhere else, so
that's confirmation.
We know you're here, thrown to the near side, and Lloyd able to make that catch. Ashley put her coat on just to do the report because she's been warm down there next to the blower.
It's 78 degrees where she's standing right now. That was just for effect.
Everybody else, 39 degrees is what the temperature says now.
Right.
Spanish Fort.
Look at Stanhope Elmore.
Ashley's down there tending to a bowl of soup and some chili as well. As 3rd and 1 coming up here, 6 minutes to go. Norris has the first down for Benjamin Russell.
Well, cross buck action, first down.
Yeah. We can do all of that stuff out of that setup they've got there. Wishbone.
So remember also they got a kicker with a strong leg, already a 37-yard field goal here tonight. You're down.
Down 2 scores.
Down by 9. And give ahead to the 40. Down by 9. 2 missed extra points for the Toros here tonight. But I think that interception in the end zone probably more
annoying,
frustrating for Coach Freeman.
Well, that came after the touchdown that was called back with the hold.
Yep.
Game changer right there. Giving Stanhope, giving up Benjamin Russell reason to believe.
Little pump fake, and now Gray still with the ball, rolls and fires to the far side, and leaping catch made inside the 40 up near the 35-yard line.
What a catch, Big
He just took flight, didn't he? And then
just
sucked it in.
You talk about coming back to help your quarterback.
Sure.
That's exactly what he does to the very end.
And a long throw here.
Great decision by Trey, too, not to put it out there between the safety and the corner, where I think it was going to be picked off in his original read.
He had big coal in his face, too, when he made that throw.
Yeah.
3rd and 2, inside 5 minutes to go. Oh, boy.
3rd and 7.
Wow. I tell you what, Spanish Fort drew him off by doing a little hand gesture.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I missed that.
Yeah.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
I've been in the trenches in middle school where they play those little games. The defensive linemen.
3rd and 7 coming up.
The funniest thing I've ever seen, real quick, I've seen a nose guard growl and make the center shiver and the ref threw the flag.
Wow. Wow. You think it was Mike the Tiger?
Gray steps up in the pocket, and then it quickly closes down, and he's dropped back to the 48-yard line.
There's their guy there, Thomas Johnson.
Yep.
That's about who you would expect to.
Oh, boy, 3rd and 2, that penalty, 3rd and 7. Just now you got 4th and 11 coming up. And 4.5 minutes to go, and Benjamin Russell going to take a timeout here, and we'll take one with him. 4:28 left. The Toros on top. Benjamin Russell with the ball, and a big fourth down coming up right after this. Some surprising high school scores from last night.
Last night, you mean like like right now?
Yeah.
But last night now, because now it's last night?
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Back to the future.
All right. Is that one of these announcements?
That's in there, Dan. That's on page 2.
I haven't seen that one.
4th and 11.
I'm just trying to entertain Brian Aaron.
5 wide receivers for the Wildcats. Gray in the pocket, looks far side, fires, but short of the first down. Able to get it off complete to Stows, but he's short of the first down. Boy, your receiver, you got to get to the sticks there.
Yeah, you got to run that route deep enough so that you're surely across the first down marker. He lays out for it pretty and gets his feet down, just short of the line to make.
Now we'll get it back.
Your Spanish Ford, it's all laid out there for you. You got a 9-point lead.
1 timeout remaining for Benjamin Russell.
Yep, and so you run the ball and you get a couple of first downs and you go to the field house.
Turn the lights out.
Yeah, man.
So get ready for the quarterfinals.
That's right. You wear your pads next week.
Brown gives it off to Trey Shable, and Shable has a first down, and you would think a healthy dose of Shable.
Yeah.
The full version.
Yep, and little Shable light wouldn't hurt, and Shable's piling up some nice numbers tonight, too.
12 carries, 87 yards.
The guy that's worried about that the least would be Trey Shable.
Right.
He probably couldn't tell you how many yards he's got this year. He just plays football.
The middle he goes again, and he'll pick up 5 more.
Yeah, you could just tell by his body language and how he carries himself out there, the mindset of certain players. He doesn't even know when they lose or win.
He's just playing football, play to play.
He definitely doesn't know the score of the game. Just knows they won the game.
And he knows he's about to get it a bunch here.
He'll take it.
Toros will let the play clock wind down. He'll be inside 3:30 when they snap this one. Shable, big hit in the backfield on second down. He's going to lose one. Penetration. Tay Robinson, he's a heck of a player. Again, just a junior.
I let nose guard position. Since you come in this middle, I'm still going to be here.
That kid's been battling all night, and Sam Howard, the center in the middle, and he's also getting doubled a bit by Brensel and Betts. He's that good. Now we've got Shable. Oof. Oh, wow, this is not good.
Yeah, he's real gingerly on that ankle.
Oof. Oh, boy, he's putting no weight on that at all. Get somebody else over there to help him get off. See if it happens maybe at the end of the play. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened is all the weight from Robinson, 241 pounds, came down on that ankle as it was planted in the ground. So
yeah,
Cam Harrison will come in.
Too hurt. He'll get some good treatment this week.
3rd and 7, and now
get back in the game next week.
See if the Toros put it in the air. Gives it right off to Harrison, and Harrison pushes ahead, and he's got a first down for the Toros inside the 30.
Yeah, they just put get one tough man to go down, they replace him with another one.
Yeah. Like I said, it's hard to believe that Harrison on the roster is 30 pounds lighter than Shable. You wouldn't know it from the way he scraps and fights.
Both of them get the same results. Kick the stick to the first down.
They get leverage and push you back.
And he gets those pads down low. You kind of don't see him behind the line there either.
I think they feel him.
Yeah. 2.5. And a first down for the Toros. They'll snap this one. Give it off. Harrison with a big lick there as he tried to cut it to the inside.
Yeah, if he'd have stayed with his blocker there and hit the outside, he may be still running.
Instead, he hit Sturdivant.
Yep. One of them anyway.
And Sam
enjoys the contact.
As we near 2 minutes. Benjamin Russell, one timeout left. It's Rodney Middlebrooks right above us here.
Rodney Middlebrooks.
I think that's what I was attempting to say. Not on the depth chart, so big hit by Shable. What a great job. Harrison goes down there, falls back into the field of play because the momentum was pushing him out of bounds.
Yeah, how about the intelligence of a high school player to do that?
And he took a whale of a hit that he wasn't going to take if he goes out of bounds.
There's T-Mac, Thomas McDonald, talented young man, up tonight on top and doing a great job for us. We really got some talent on this. We'd be over the salary cap if there was a check. And really, if this is a salary cap league, we'd be over.
That's just a great bunch of guys, too.
As Brown keeps this one here on third down. He's going to be just short. He's going to bring up fourth down with a minute to go. James Ray, that's when you hear the big hits.
Yeah, that's my guy going to ESPN right there.
Holding the parabolic mic. That is a tough job. That thing is heavy, and you have to hold it all night.
Well, have you seen his pipes, haven't you? Big tough guy.
Yeah.
Strong arms.
Timeout here with 59 seconds left.
I think Coxie could take him.
Andrew Dolison, who's preparing to go cover the next Winter Olympics, is here all.
It wasn't even this cold in Russia.
Plenty bundled up.
I'll tell you what, that's the toughness right there. We're in this nice cozy booth where Dan's got it a comfy 78 degrees.
I mean, they had the AC on when I walked in here at 4:30 this afternoon, and that quickly got turned off.
Yeah, Dan took care of that.
Look at this. Mark Freeman.
Speaking of taking it, see there we are. We're all, you can see we're a little lower. Look at Brian Aaron just all of a sudden photobombing here our broadcast. Statisticians are meant to be, well, statisticians, so we'll Brian in the neutral zone on that shot.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
You see me preparing to brave the wintry weather?
Yep.
From here to my car.
One thing I do like about Spanish Fort, the valet service, they actually have our cars running for us with the heaters on.
That's only available to residents of Spanish Fort. So Dan and I are not getting that service that you're getting, Jim.
So they're going to measure just short. Benjamin Russell out of timeouts. Fourth and less than a yard.
Jim's wife is preparing him a flat steak right now, and you can smell it from here.
It's got it on the Kamado Joe grill from Spring Hill Hardware. And yes.
He doesn't have.
By the way, the pastrami was spectacular.
Oh, he would tell us afterwards.
It was spectacular.
I thought he was going to share us.
No.
11 pounds with us.
I think once he said was, that's it.
His wife got a nice bowl of soup for him.
Going to be your ball game right here with the first down.
So here we go. Brown gives it off. Harrison hit by Sturdivant, slips a tackle. He's got a first down, and that will push the Toros to the quarterfinals.
Yeah. A little Tasmanian devil action there. That kid lets you know he's in the game, huh?
He doesn't need an energy drink either, does he?
Boy, Sturdivant had a chance. Harrison, who came in on this drive to replace Shable, who went out with the ankle injury.
Not a big drop-off.
Nope. And again, he had Harrison had 90 yards last week in the win. And now the Toros will be able to take a knee here.
You know, the Toros are a very good team without Tyler Johnston. I don't think they appear as invincible as when they had the big guy quarterback.
And so, yeah, you're right. But you know what? We're going to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, man.
We'll take on the winner of McAdory and Oxford, and they earned it here tonight.
Will they have to travel next week?
They will be on the road next week. And Benjamin Russell finishes their season at 10-2.
Not a bad season, nothing to be ashamed about. You
Nope.
can hold your head up high about that. The fireworks begin to go off.
Boy, the Toros.
Leading second with this one.
The Toros will end some team seasons, won't they?
Yeah, that's their MO, man.
Going for their 3rd straight state championship.
Is the hill where dreams come to die?
Yeah, this is it. And if you let them come on your field, they might kill you there.
Coach Freeman over talking with the Benjamin Russell staff.
And there's that sportsmanship we've been talking about over and over tonight. You see it down between the teams and the coaches.
It's a well-coached team from
It is.
up
It
there
really
on the
is.
lake, huh?
It really is. You can see why they have won 10 games this year. Maximize the talent that they have and put together the rest of it all on one page.
All right, let's go down and hear from the Victoria's head coach, Mark Freeman.
You're now moving on to the quarterfinals. What can you tell us about this game? You just finished
Just proud of our kids, why they come out and play tonight. Back-to-back weeks, offensive lines played terrific. I'm proud of our kids. We had a great week, and they worked hard, and we got to get one more week now, 1 week at a time.
How do you prepare for next week?
Just the same thing we do. We won't change a thing. We're just come in Sunday, lift, run, get ready to go. I don't even know who we play. Don't care who we play. We just go in the next round.
Good luck,
Thank you.
Coach Mark Freeman, boy, he has the recipe how to get ready week in and week out. He's got the recipe here in the playoffs, and just what a great run. And I think you look at the score and say, hey, this is a 9-point game, but you're playing a very quality opponent, and that as you go further in the playoffs, the scores are going to become closer and closer with each round.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so. The young quarterback played well tonight.
Yep, Brown really did.
He played well tonight. He had 82 yards on the ground. He was able to throw the ball for 198 yards, so he passed the test.
He did.
And that's big.
Yeah, that is big. He had the one little mess up in the beginning with the turnover, but from that forward, he played well, and he's got his team going, as you say, to the quarterfinals.
13 straight wins here for the Toros at home, and they'll be on the road next week as they get ready for a quarterfinal matchup. And it's the Toros keep rolling on. I mean, it's what they do. So congratulations to Spanish Fort as they move on. Well, again, thank all of our crew, everybody working. We showed some of our folks there running the cameras. Vance Lang directing tonight. Jared Kihas down in the truck. Thank you to Jared down there doing a great job as he always does to get us ready. All of our camera operators. And thank you for joining us here this evening. We'll be back at it next week. Our final score, 33-24. The Toros with the win for Ashley Pope down on the sidelines. Brian Aaron, our statistician. Jared Kihas in the truck. Vic Lockett, Dan Brennan. I'm Jim Cox up here at the booth where the Toros continue on. They're going to the quarterfinals with a win over a tough team coming down from Benjamin Russell tonight. 33-24 your final.